That is right. Here we go. Episode 60 of the Hardline Sports Talk. I am Michael Merlo. I'm with John Michael Masiri. JM, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Mur. It's April 5th. April 7th cannot come soon enough, even though Mother Nature is saying otherwise for the New York Yankees. But I'm ready to rock, man. Big episode. This is giving me like first episode ever vibes right here. This is a flash in the past.
Episode 60. It's a throwback to episode 1 where we did our MLB predictions, and that's what we're doing today. Very exciting. These shows are the best. You know why? Because out of let's say we give 50 predictions today, maybe 5 of them will be right. Maybe even less.
Maybe
but
zero.
It's so much fun. Maybe zero.
Maybe zero.
But it's so much fun to do.
That's what it's all about, man. Just making the predictions, and who knows where they're going to go.
We're trying to guess what it's going to be. I think we're going to do a good job. We're smart people. We're involved. We know. We got this.
Yeah, come on, who's better than us, man?
Very quickly, let's give a shout out to the Kansas Jayhawks, who won the national championship last night. The biggest comeback ever in national championship history, down 16 points and 15 at half to North Carolina. First off, couldn't believe North Carolina was in the game. Whatever, was happy to see Coach Gay finally go down. And Bill Self, I'm a Kansas fan. Bill Self, big time win.
Yeah, big for him. So he's the first Jayhawk coach to ever have multiple championships. So
yeah,
very good for him.
Big shout out to him. We would talk about it more, but we got so much to get to at baseball. So let's just kick it right off. What we're going to do is we're going to break down each division, each team, give, who we're going to have in the playoffs, seed, awards, playoffs, World Series.
All right. So let's wait to tell the seeding until we get to the playoff portion.
Right.
But we'll say if they are in the playoffs or not.
That's fair.
Or we could say whatever. We could say not getting in the playoffs. We could just say where they're going to finish within the division.
Yeah, I think.
No, let's keep it suspenseful. Let's just say where they're going to finish in the division. Then we'll say our wild card teams and everything when we get to the playoff part.
Sounds good.
All right.
So we're going to start in the AL East. Now, how are we going to start it off? Because I know what the ranking is going to be. Do you want to do it alphabetically?
Sure.
All right. So we're going to start with the Toronto Blue Jays.
What do you mean alphabetically? What the hell? Like would be like Blue Jays?
Yeah, Blue Jays.
No, we're just gonna say what we got going on. All right, fine, Blue Jays. I have the Toronto Blue Jays coming in first in the AL.
Oh, I see what you want to do. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
we're good.
It's fine. I got Blue Jays coming in first. I don't like your idea. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. I'm just gonna go right down the list and say who's gonna come in what place in this division. So
I got confused. I've done this show already. Like I did this show already today, and we did it a different way. It's fine. We're good.
You're good. So I got Blue Jays coming in first. I got the Yankees coming in second. Might be a little hot take to some people, whatever. I got the Rays in third. I got the Red Sox in fourth, and I got the Orioles in last.
Okay. I've got the Blue Jays coming in first. Wait, do you want me to?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, and then we're going to go. I got the Blue Jays in first. I got the Rays in second. I got the New York Yankees in third. The Red Sox in fourth. Orioles fifth. So we're the same. We just got the Yankees and Rays flipped.
Right. Yeah, I mean, listen, Toronto, they're a hot pick this offseason, and I fully understand why. I picked them to finish first in the division. Some key subtractions, right? They lost Marcus Semien. They lost Robbie Ray. But they made up for it, not completely, but did a pretty close enough job to getting Kevin Gausman and Matt Chapman. They also got I always say Kenta Maeda. They also got Yusei Kikuchi, and they got a couple other nice little pieces. They traded my boy Randall Grichuk away, which I got a little problem with, but that's all right. Yeah, I mean, this team's loaded. You think about the rotation. Everybody wants to talk about the lineup, but that rotation too is deep. You got Alek Manoah, Barrios, Gausman, Ryu, and Kikuchi. Those are some solid starters, top to bottom.
No, they got a couple. They definitely have a bunch of starters, which is one of the reasons why I really like them. And, they might not have great depth, although I don't think it's as bad as some would say. At the top of the rotation is very good. You've got Jose Barrios, who I'm very high on this season. Kevin Gausman comes in, he replaces Robbie Ray. And I almost feel like both of those guys are going to replace Robbie Ray. You're going to get Jose Barrios for a full season. You're then bringing in Kevin Gausman, who was very good last season. Kikuchi at the end of that rotation kind of solidifies it, at 5. And Hyun-Jin Ryu had a down year last year. This guy's been good his whole career. I expect him to bounce back and be a lot better than he was. And then you have a young guy in Alex Manoah, who bursted onto the scene last year. He was a top prospect for them and was very, very good. So this is a really solid team from top to bottom. We just drafted their close-in, Jordan Romano. Yep. In fantasy baseball. They got that kid Merriweather as well in the bullpen. So if they have to add at the deadline, they will. They have a very aggressive owner. This is a real solid team, top to bottom. You're 100% right.
We just talked about the pitching staff, and we haven't even talked about the greatest strength of this team. That's in our lineup. And Vlad Guerrero finally took that MVP caliber step last year that we were expecting out of him. And it kind of feels like Bo Bichette might be taking a step in that direction. A little different, right? Bichette's already established as at least a top 50 player in the game. Vlad was just starting to get his feet wet, but Bo Bichette, you can definitely see him getting even better offensively. So this team is young, and they're going to keep getting better and better. All right, let's not spend too much time on the Blue Jays though. So I'll go back to the Yankees. I know you had them in third. I had them in second. We've talked about them a lot on the show, obviously. Yeah, I mean, listen, the offseason wasn't exactly what everybody wanted, but I still think this team, you just talked about, Jose Barrios, the Blue Jays getting a full year out of him. I look at it with the Yankees, you get a full year out of Anthony Rizzo, you get a full year especially out of Joey Gallo. He didn't play very well for this team in the couple of months that he was here, but I think a full season, he'll be just fine, right? Back to that all-star level that he usually plays at. And I'm expecting some big things, especially out of Aaron Judge. If this contract it's hopefully done by the time the first pitch is thrown on Thursday, but I'm expecting some big things out of Aaron Judge, and I think the Yankees will be just fine coming in second.
They might have an extension if you have a rain out. They might have an extension to get that.
Maybe on the rainy Thursday
extension done.
They'll get it done.
But you're right. Listen, this team is going to be very good again. 90+ wins. You talked about Joey Gallo, and that's a fantastic point. Not only do you get him for a full season, he's now comfortable in New York, or he gets to acclimate to New York a little better. Same thing with Rizzo. Also, Rizzo was dealing with COVID last year and he got sick. So you also have to throw that into the equation, because when he first got here, he was hitting the sock off the ball and then he got sick. So I think Rizzo's going to have, a better year than he was in that half season with the Yankees, and obviously Gallo too. You also have guys like DJ LeMahieu who had down seasons last year. You expect him to be a little better. And I think the biggest X factor for this team is Gleyber Torres, because toward the end when he started playing second base last year, he was a little bit better. But this guy has to get back to the level where we thought he was going to be if the Yankees really want to take this next step. We know what we're getting out of Judge. We know what we're getting out of Stanton. My biggest question mark with this team, my two biggest question marks are with this team are both DJ LeMahieu and Gleyber, and then the starting staff.
Yeah, see, I was actually going to go in a little bit of a different direction. First, I mean, obviously health is the most important factor, right? If you can get a fully healthy season again of Judge and Stanton, that would be very nice. But I'm a little concerned about this bullpen, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it enough. We have some young guys in Jonathan Loaisiga and Clay Holmes. I love what I saw out of him last year. But I get worried about Aaron Boone's trust and maybe commitment to guys like Chapman, Green, and even a guy like Zach Britton. If those guys start to slip, I hope the Yankees aren't afraid of changing the guard to moving Loaisiga to that closer role or moving Clay Holmes to that closer role, because Chapman, he had his ups and downs last year, and he usually does, but he had a lot more downs last year than we're used to, and he's getting up there in age, and that velocity's starting to dwindle down a little bit. So Chad Green has he was in AAA at one point. He had his ups and downs, so hopefully that this bullpen it stays intact, and if somebody's slipping, Aaron Boone needs to adapt right away. He can't just keep throwing out them in high pressure situations.
I said it almost jokingly over the weekend, but it's kind of true. Loaisiga is probably their best reliever, and if he
Oh,
is at some
100%.
point, if Chapman is not doing it, they have to make a change. You're 100% right.
Luis Severino, one more X factor for this team. If he has a great year, this team's gonna have a great season.
Do you think he can make 25 or more starts this year? Do you think he will do that?
Yeah, I think he can make 20. Do I think he actually will? Who knows? But I think he's definitely capable of it.
All right. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Yankees a ton. Yeah. So let's move over to the Rays here. I had the Rays in second. You had them in third. There's not much to talk about here other than the fact that every single year we predict them to either not make the playoffs or maybe just be a wild card team, and they win a ton of games and they go to the playoffs and they win the division. And I don't think they win the division this year. And I could be wrong. And, I might be biting my words later, but this might be wrong completely, but I don't know.
Right. And that's the thing. It's
confusing.
It's scary to pick against the Rays because it's like, well, you look at their roster on paper and it's not that impressive every year, but they always go out and perform well and win the division and whatever. But I couldn't do it this year. I really didn't. I remember last year, I was a little higher on the Rays. I might have even picked them to make it as far as the World Series. I don't remember what I picked them doing, but yeah, third place for them. That rotation, I can't come around on that rotation. I mean, Shane McClanahan's a nice young starter. I could see him having a very good year, throwing even his name into the Cy Young mix, finishing top 10 or wherever. But Corey Kluber, Drew Rasmussen, Shane Baz has this elbow problem now. I don't know. I just can't come around it. Louis Patino is still very young. I don't know if they're going to make him a full-time starter, if they'll just throw him in the bullpen for a little bit, send him down to the minors. I don't know what their plan is with him, but I don't love the rotation. And the bullpen's good. The bullpen is definitely a strong part of this team.
As it always is.
But that lineup too, which the lineup is one of the best in baseball somehow. But you look at it on paper and you're like, well, no, they're just not.
Took a hit, Meadows traded to the Tigers.
They did take a hit with that. But
it kind of like the moves they make, it may sound confusing, it may look weird, but it somehow works. Right. I don't understand it. And Corey Kluber signing, I read today on The Athletic, people are trying to predict what's going to be the best free agent pickup, and somebody had wrote Corey Kluber to the Rays because the Rays don't usually spend that kind of money on somebody like him, and they gave him $8 million, and they were like, I can't wait to see what Kluber does over there. Whatever they teach him in Tampa Bay, it somehow seems to work, some of these starting pitchers. So I don't know. I'm not expecting much from him, but if he eats innings for them, that would be a good thing. But I'm going to say they come in second. It's you're lost for words with how they do it year in and year out.
Yeah, you are. I mean, only time will tell. Who knows? I'm just going to look at the team the way it is, and I didn't love the Austin Meadows deal, getting rid of him. But listen, still got them making the playoffs. Yeah, I like the Rays, but I don't think they win the division again.
Now, the only really other team we're going to talk about in this division is the Red Sox, and both me and you are a little down on them this year. They went to the playoffs, they went to the ALCS last year, but it was really a massive shock. They bring in Trevor Story, but they lost Hunter Renfroe, they lost Eduardo Rodriguez, and the staff. You look at the pitching rotation, not great. You look at their bullpen, not great. They have a really great lineup, but they can't pitch from what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, the pitching rotation looks even worse from last year when it was going into opening day. Now you have Chris Sale, the guy's literally made of glass. He's already gonna, miss time. He's on the 60-day IL. Nate Eovaldi had a really good year for them last year, but I don't know if he can repeat that same success. I mean, he's definitely a talented pitcher. I could see him still keeping that ERA below 4, but are we really going to see a mid to low 3 ERA out of him again? Who knows? And I don't even think if he does that helps the rotation, that'll answer the questions for the rotation, because you look at the rest of it. Their predicted starters are Nate Eovaldi, Nick Pivetta, Tanner Houck, Michael Wacha, and Rich Hill. I mean, especially the bottom two. Murr, you could go on and on about Michael Wacha and Rich Hill, two guys who spent time with the New York Mets last year.
Yep.
that's not a sexy rotation in the shortest. Like, it is a bottom rotation in the league looking at that. And then you look at the bullpen. The bullpen is solid. They lost Ottavino, who had a decent year for them, fell off towards the end of the year, but not loving it. You know, it was a one guy who was on the Red Sox I completely forgot about. James Paxton. He's on the 60-day IL, but James Paxton's the Boston Red Sox.
Matt Barnes, their closer, who they gave an extension to in the middle of the year, he fell off big time toward the end, and he hasn't looked good this spring from what I was reading. So that's another concern. The rotation's interesting. I mean, Rich Hill was not terrible with the Mets last season. Michael Wacha was a couple of seasons ago. It's funny you bring them up. Nick Pivetta, who always showed something when he was a Philly, couldn't really stay on the field. He's got good stuff, so it doesn't shock me that he pitched well toward the end of the season as well last year. So it wouldn't shock me if he had a nice season. But
yeah,
other than that, you're right. I mean, Evaldi's a nice pitcher. I like him, but that's still not enough.
Not at all. And
so,
are they really going to be able to outslug every team? I mean, they have a hell of a lineup, but you need that pitching to perform to a decent level at least. And that's what they had last year. And that's why they snuck into the playoffs and went on a little run. But you got to get there first.
Now, there's a couple of teams we're going to call basically a disgrace to baseball.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I don't know. Are the Orioles a disgrace?
The Orioles are a disgrace to baseball. They're not as bad. They're not as bad as some
on the
others.
level of the Pirates and the Guardians
and the A's. They're not
the A's.
They're not that bad. At least the Orioles gave out some money, like they gave Chris Davis a deal that they have trust issues from now. That's why they don't spend money. But yeah, this team's not winning more than 65 games this year, and let's just move on. I mean,
there was a report that they offered Correa 10 years, $300 million. But
wow. Good for them.
That's interesting. But you know what? The Orioles are just in a phase where, you know what? There's no reason for them to spend money right now. They're rebuilding. Just pretty bad.
Adley Rutschman, that's one thing that Orioles fans can look forward to this year.
Let's move on to the AL Central, where there's only really a couple of teams we're going to be talking about here as well. We're going to start off. All right, you want me to? I'll start this division.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. In first place, I've got the Chicago White Sox. In second, I've got the Detroit Tigers. In third, I've got the Minnesota Twins. In fourth, the Guardians. And fifth, the Royals.
I have exactly the same way.
Okay.
White Sox, Tigers, Twins, Guardians, Royals. Yep, that's the exact same way I did.
The White Sox last season, they were criticized a bunch because they have a very old school manager, and B, they really beat up on a terrible division. Now the division's a little better this season, so they might not have that luxury. They're still the best team in the division, but they're going to have to show that they can beat really good teams. Luis Robert is fantastic. They have great offensive players. They have a good staff, way too right-handed, but this is going to be a team that wins the division, should win 90-plus games, and be fun to watch.
Yeah, this is a team that quickly just got stacked. I mean, you look at any part of the team and you have superstars. Literally, you have superstars. Giolito, I expect a very nice year out of him. Lance Lynn is already dealing with an injury, so they're going to hope for him to come back. This team's already getting hit by the injury bug, which is a little scary. Lance Lynn and Michael Kopech, not Michael Kopech, Garrett Crochet out for the year.
Yes.
So, but I think they can handle it. I think they have decent depth. They have a really good bullpen, really good rotation, especially the top end of it. And that
they just signed Johnny Cueto.
They did just sign Johnny Cueto. And that bullpen is nasty. So, that lineup is nasty. I really like this team. Luis Robert is going to be a dark horse MVP candidate. I think he will definitely throw his hat in the ring for that. Yeah, I'm pretty high on the White Sox this year.
As am I. All right, let's move on to the Detroit Tigers, who I claimed as my third favorite team in Major League Baseball last year. They were young. They were gritty. They were kind of fun to watch last season. They add Javi Baez. They now add Austin Meadows. They've already added Eduardo Rodriguez as well from Boston. Don't really have them making the playoffs, but they're going to be good again. They're taking the right steps, and they have a fantastic manager with AJ Hinch.
Yeah, I think they'll be one of the first or second teams out of the playoffs. Honestly, I do really like what they did this offseason. I think they had a perfect offseason that teams should take notice of when you're a little like on the rise. You're starting to get guys called up. They're adding pieces slowly. Traded for Meadows, like you said, the Baez signing. Just I had like two like specialty slices of pizza about like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
So I apologize if there's any weird noises or something coming out of me.
Mm,
That's my
here we
bad.
go. Here we go. They called up Torkelson, who I love. Spoiler, that's my rookie of the year. And Riley Green, no?
I'm not sure if they called up Riley Green. There's I don't think we've ever seen so many big prospects coming up at once like we are in the AL right now.
It really is crazy.
I mean, you have 4 of like the top 10 prospects in the league getting called up this year.
This is very, very exciting. We'll talk about that more when we do REL Rookie of the Year. I love Torkelson. That's my spoiler. He's my pick. I've had a weird thing for him for
big on
a very long time.
I'm big on Jeimer Candelario this year too. I think we'll have a very nice year.
Why didn't we draft him in fantasy?
I don't know.
We picked too high.
Hey, you're good.
Okay. Next up, we got the Twins. Added Correa. Yeah, they made the trade with the Yankees. Added Sonny Gray. Okay. It's still a below average team. They'll probably be close to 500. I got really nothing more than that. Their pitching rotation is not very good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just said it. I hate the rotation. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it at
Oh.
all. Joe Ryan is, I don't know if they named a starter yet, but Joe Ryan's a projected day one starter.
Oof.
Why
not Gray? Why wouldn't it be Sonny Gray?
I'm guessing it'll probably be Gray, but when you go on, what is it, Roto Champ or whatever the website is that has all the predicted lines? Yeah, Roto Champion has him as the projected starter. I mean, listen, Gary Sanchez, Gio Urshela, solid additions for this team. Obviously, Carlos Correa is the big offseason addition. And if Byron Buxton stays healthy, we know how great he can be. He could literally win the MVP of the AL. But I just don't think this team is anything close to a playoff team, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things that need to go right. The bullpen, I'm not a big fan of at all. And the rotation, I just don't think this pitching staff is good enough. And the lineup doesn't make up enough for it to throw its name into a playoff bracket. I don't see the Twins making the playoffs.
Jorge Polanco, second baseman, is very underrated, though. Gotta say that.
Agreed. I mean, we had him. He was on our shortstops list, I think, right? Second base or shortstops list?
I don't remember. Second base.
I don't remember.
I'll check right now. The rest of the division, not really much there. The Guardians, I mean, if they trade Jose Ramirez, which they should not do, that's really the biggest thing with them. They should probably extend him if they possibly can.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens there. That's should be coming down. And the Royals, Bobby Wood Jr., we talked about these prospects coming up. So that's exciting.
Yeah. But, I mean,
that's what you got to watch for.
Cleveland's another one of those disgrace to baseball teams.
Yep.
I'm sorry, they are. I mean,
I had Jorge. Sorry to interrupt. I had Jorge Polanco 6th, and you had him 8th.
Putting respect on his name. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, they are a disgrace to baseball. They're 100% a disgrace to baseball. And the Royals, like I said, the really only thing you have to look forward to is Bobby Witt Jr., and that's something to watch. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
All right, AL West.
Give it a me.
You go. Pause. You got it.
Give it to me.
Oh. You got it.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant like give it to me. Like, oh, I'll take it.
No, like give me whatever.
I like those comments.
All right, so I have a feeling that this is probably going to be exactly the same. I think you'll see a little bit of different when we go to the NL West. I mean, the NL. Houston, Seattle, LA, Texas, Oakland.
Yep, I got the same. Houston, Seattle. Listen, the Mariners got a lot better. Actually, no. Let's stick with the Astros.
Yeah, easy guy.
You know, what's funny about the Astros is that their pitching rotation, if you look at it on paper right now, isn't that great. And they didn't add much this offseason. So I think they'll win the division. They're still a very talented bunch, and they have a good veteran manager. But I mean, I guess I'm about to contradict myself because I do have them in the ALCS, but this is the first time where they definitely can't win the World Series, but they'll go far.
I
think that makes sense.
Right. I think the rotation is still solid. Lance McCullers could be a guy who has a very big year. Obviously,
he's always hurt though.
Obviously, it depends how Verlander returns from his injury and how much he's got left in the tank. And then with Garcia, Valdez, and Urquidy, I think that's 3 really solid guys. This team lost its swag a little. I think losing Carlos Correa is gonna lose it. They're gonna lose their swag a little. They lost Springer the year before that. I think that you're gonna see them a little tail off. Obviously, I still have them winning the division, but Kyle Tucker's this is his team now. He's got the keys. He's the new superstar. We'll see. Alex Bregman, this is his last year. If he doesn't his last year to prove something, if he has another bad year, then he's done as being a well-respected name in the game
and I think he bounces back. I think he has a big year. I really do like Framber Valdez, and I like Luis Garcia a lot. You're right about this rotation. If Verlander comes back and gives you something, if McCullers comes back and gives you something, this could be a very, very dangerous team. And also, the bullpen's not bad. Ryan Presley's emerged as one of the better closers in the game, and you still have Altuve. So he's still.
I mean, the lineup is still very good. Who knows what Michael Brantley's going to do this year? But with Altuve, Alvarez, Tucker, Bregman, Gurriel had a really nice year last year. They got some big bats, so they'll be okay offensively for sure.
The Mariners.
Yes.
The Mariners added a ton this offseason. They added Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez. They added Robbie Ray, Adam Frazier.
Todd Frazier just retired today. I don't know if you saw.
I know. That's sad news.
Did you know he's from Tom's River?
No, really? Wait, was he the guy at the Little League World Series?
Nah, you gotta dig deep for that, bro. That's some information you'll never find. Did you know he also stood next to Derek Jeter?
Yeah,
on the field.
All right, Little League World Series. Yeah, he's Little League World Series champion. That's good. Yeah, they're a solid team. I think they make the playoffs.
The Mariners, I'm in love with what the Mariners did this offseason because they are one of those teams where they overachieved last year. They won a lot of one-run games, and everybody was going to be on them this year to tail off and just say that was a one-year fluke and whatever. But they believed in their success, and they improved the team a lot. I mean, like you just said, all the additions they got the reigning AL Cy Young winner and a guy in Jesse Winker, who is one of the best hitters against right-handed pitching in the game. And then you factor in Julio Rodriguez and Jared Kelenic. If Jared Kelenic for his full year does anything remotely better than what he did last year, because he was god awful, he got a little bit of a nice 2-week stretch to end the year, but this team can take off. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is an otherworldly talent, top 5 prospect of the game, could be a game changer and a potential all-star MVP for this team in the future. So I like what the Mariners did a lot. I think the rotation is a little sketchy, especially on the back end, but I like the lineup. I think the bullpen's solid, and I think the rotation. Obviously, we talked about Robbie Ray, and I think Logan Gilbert's a guy who could have a nice year for them. I like the Mariners.
I do too. This is a solid team, like you said. They have not only Rodriguez, who's coming up, he's their top prospect, and like you said, I've watched a couple of highlights. He is otherworldly, and Kelenic's going to be better. I mean, this is a guy that was touted by everybody to be a future superstar. So I'm confident in Jared Kelenic to have a bounce back season. He was better, especially in September last season for the Mariners.
Yeah,
and they have a ton of other prospects too coming right up. So that are right there. So this is going to
Yep.
be a talented and fun team. And Mitch Haniger was probably one of their better hitters last year. And JP Crawford. JP Crawford had a nice season for them. So, and Ty France. And who's the kid they traded Graveman for? They got killed for
Abraham Toro.
And they loved him. Like when they made that trade, that wasn't them selling. That was them being in love with Abraham Toro.
Right.
And he ended up playing well for them. This is a good team.
It is a good team.
All right. The rest of the division.
The Angels.
Disappointment again.
I was on the Angels last year. I think I actually predicted them to win the division on the show. They were like, I was like, this is their year. And I didn't even expect Shohei Ohtani to go out and win the AL MVP. But yeah, they obviously didn't win the division. So now I hate the Angels.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this team is loaded, obviously, with superstars. They have arguably the number 1 and 2 players in baseball on their team, probably the number 1 and 2 baseball players on their team. But there's just no depth, and they haven't been able to find the depth for forever now, it seems. I mean, listen, the bullpen's decent, right? Raisel Iglesias had a great year last year. The lineup is stacked from 1 through 4, and then you get past that 4 or 5, and it's not, right? You have Anthony Rendon. They're waiting to get a full season out of him, and we know what he can do when there's a fully healthy season, and he's swinging the bat well. Mike Trout is Mike Trout. Ohtani, right, won the MVP last year. Jared Walsh, great hitter. The depth is not there. The rotation is awful again. Ohtani's all you got. Syndergaard being a number 2 starter that just can't sit well with anybody.
No. They spent stupid money. They've spent really dumb money. They paid Iglesias, who's a good player, but why are you paying a closer this much money when you don't have much around the team? Obviously, you pay Trout what you have to pay. I thought the Rendon signing, I mean, they were going after Cole. They didn't get him. They had all this money they wanted to spend. They have a terrible, terrible owner that butts his head into too many different things. And this is what happens. They're a bad team.
It is. It's a bad team. The roster's built poorly. One more guy in the rotation, Patrick Sandoval, can have a solid year. But, I mean, listen, I just said 4 names in Ohtani, Trout, Walsh, and Rendon. But after that, you got their projected lineup: Max Stassi, Brandon Marsh, Joe Adell, Tyler Wade, David Fletcher. That's awful. That's awful.
No. All right. The Rangers. The Rangers spent a ton of money. They get Simeon. They get John Gray. They get Corey Seager. But this team, not there yet. But you got to love the steps they took.
Yeah, you got to love the aggressiveness. Signing 3 guys is not going to make you a playoff team, especially from going from the roster that they have. Yeah, I mean, I think the Rangers can make a little noise from their perspective, right? Win over 70 games, something like that. But I still see them as a 4th place team. The lineup does not have the depth of a playoff team. The bullpen is pretty awful. And the rotation definitely still needs a lot of improvement. I mean, John Gray's your ace. That's all you got to know.
After that, we got the A's, who don't really deserve to be discussed. So I think we just
we're not. They traded everybody. Okay. That's enough.
Done. All right, let's do our picks in the American League for a little awards here. MVP, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year.
Hell yeah.
You want to start us off?
Yeah, I will. I would love to, Michael. Thank you.
Okay. You got it.
All right. My MVP. I believe I picked Mike Trout last year. I am not picking Mike Trout again this year. I'm going to go. Might get a little hate for this. I'm going to go with Aaron Judge.
Okay.
I think Judge is going into his prime season. He's going to be 30 years old. And if he stays fully healthy, we know how capable this guy is. He had a bit of an off year defensively last year. His offensive numbers were great, but they could still be better than that, right? He had a 919 OPS. I think Judge is a guy who could do just about everything on a baseball field. I think he's going to be huge for the Yankees this year. I think he's going to be the reason why the Yankees make the playoffs and are a contender. It depends if he gets his extension or not. We'll see, right? Is he going to play angry if he doesn't get it? Who knows?
Yep.
But I'm picking my boy Aaron Judge for the MVP.
All right. And his odds to win MVP are very good, like plus 1,800. So if you are interested in gambling, I would definitely check that out because those are good odds. We kind of talked about him before. You called him a dark horse. I don't think so. I got Luis Robert winning AL MVP. This guy is ultra talented. He's got speed. He's huge and he's got so much power. Plays a solid center field. He's going to steal a bunch of bags. He's all around a 5-tool player. And I hope he stays healthy. That's the thing with him. It's been health. If he stays healthy, this guy's one I think could be one of the 10 best position players in baseball. This guy is ultra talented.
Yeah, no doubt. There's really nothing on a baseball field that he can't do.
Yeah. I just really hope he stays healthy because it's going to be a fun watch.
All right. Well, you kind of just segued me in here because speaking of the Chicago White Sox, my Cy Young, I'm going with Lucas Giolito of the Chicago White Sox. Me and you were big on him last year. I'm big on him again. We picked him in fantasy, hoping that he takes us to the promised land. Yeah, I mean, at first I had sorry. At first I had Cole. Right. Then I had Bieber, and then I went to Giolito. I wasn't gonna go Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole for the Cy Young. I think I would have gotten crucified if I did that. But yeah, I mean, this is my actual prediction. This is my belief. I think that this will happen. Giolito had a rough start to the year last year and recovered well. He has all the qualities of a Cy Young pitcher. He could put up the big strikeout numbers. He can limit runs. He's on a good team. And for all the casual fans that want to vote for wins, if we even have any of those left on the committee to vote for this award, but
no,
I like Lucas Giolito and win the Cy Young.
Very nice. I hope he does. I genuinely hope he does. All right, my AL Cy Young Award winner is Jose Berrios of the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm a big Berrios fan. Berrios,
always have.
For whatever reason, I've always been a big fan of his. I think he takes that next step here with Toronto, though. I mean, he's already a very good pitcher, but he's going to be the ace of a staff. And you know what? Sometimes the narrative does sway voters. It shouldn't. I agree with you, but he was real solid last season. When he got to Toronto, had a 1.23 ERA plus 3.58 ERA. I seriously think he takes that, almost next step to becoming an elite pitcher, and he wins it here. We see all these guys. It's kind of been a surprise lately with these winners. I think here in the AL, I think it continues that way.
Blue Jays get back-to-back years of Cy Young.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking about that.
That's pretty impressive for them. All right, my rookie of the year, I got Julio Rodriguez. We just talked about him for a decent amount when we were talking about the Mariners. I think this guy is fantastic. I've heard his name for a couple of years now. He's been the guy's Instagram handle is the J-Rod Show. I mean, that's all you need to know. He's sponsored by Under Armour. He's an Olympic medalist. He's got it down pat, this guy. I like Julio Rodriguez. I think kind of like Luis Robert. He's another guy, and not a lot of things he can't do on a baseball field. He's fast. He can steal bags. He absolutely raked in Double-A last year. He's making the jump up to the big leagues. He's skipping Triple-A. I like Bob,
a lot of power.
Yes, I like Bobby Witt Jr., but I'm going with Rodriguez.
Yeah, and Bobby Witt Jr. is a guy. I think he's second, but the more I watch the J-Rod Show, it's pretty tough not to pick him. I got Torkelson. I think his numbers are going to be so good. I think he's going to hit 35, 40 home runs this year in his rookie year up with the Tigers. I kind of spoiled this before. I've been a huge fan of him since college. It's weirdly obsessed with him, kind of. But I'm excited to watch him in the bigs. I think he can just make an instant impact for that team. And listen, this is going to be, like you said before, you can't go wrong. It's a very competitive AL Rookie of the Year this year race.
Definitely is. Adley Rutschman too. We didn't even talk about him. All right, Mer. Well, are we gonna
Playoff
get it?
time.
It's playoff time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's playoff time.
All right. My document just went away with all my notes. Here it is. Okay. Give me your seating. Let's hear it.
Okay, so the number 1 seed in the AL, I've got the Toronto Blue Jays. The number 2 seed, I've got the Chicago White Sox. Number 3, I've got the Houston Astros. 4, the Rays. 5, the Yankees, and 6, the Mariners.
All right. Number 1, I have the Chicago White Sox. Number 2, I have the Houston Astros. Number 3, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 4, the New York Yankees. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Rays. And number 6, the Seattle Mariners.
All righty, so same
we have
teams.
the same 6 teams in.
Yes. Okay. I'll start.
Yep.
In the 4 versus 5 matchup, I've got the Rays beating the Yankees. And in the 3-6 matchup, I've got the Astros. Yeah, I've got the Astros beating the Mariners.
All right. In the 4-5-6, the 4-5-6. In the 4-5 series, I have the Rays beating the Yankees. And in the 3-6 series, I have the Blue Jays beating the Mariners.
Right. I came this close. I think the Mariners beat the Astros, but I didn't.
Wow. Aggressive.
All right. That would have been a little aggressive. I do like the Mariners. I really do like the Mariners this year, though. All right. The divisional round. I've got the Toronto Blue Jays beating the Tampa Bay Rays, and I've got the Astros, the 3 seed, beating the Chicago White Sox.
All right. Sketchy. I have in the 1 versus 3 series. Did I do that right? I did not do that right.
1 versus.
I wrote Toronto twice. I'm an idiot. Okay. In the 1 versus 5 series, because the Rays advanced, I got the White Sox beating the Rays.
Okay.
And then I have Toronto beating Houston.
All righty.
ALCS, give it to me.
ALCS, I got the Blue Jays beating the Astros and advancing to the World Series.
Wow. Big Blue Jay guy.
Big Blue Jay guy.
My ALCS, I have the Chicago White Sox beating the Toronto Blue Jays and going to the World Series.
Very, very nice. 2 very exciting teams. I mean, you really can't go wrong there.
Cannot go wrong. 2 young and exciting teams right there.
All right. So when we come back, we will do our NL side. We'll do the picks. We'll do the awards, and a World Series champion will be crowned in our hypothetical world in our heads when we come back after this. Here we go. We are back. Episode 60, MLB 2022 prediction show. I am Michael Merlo, and I am with John Michael Messeri, and we are ready to go for the NL side of things. The AL side was a ton of fun. The NL is about to get very, very interesting, though. I think there will be a few difference of opinions here. We're going to start in the NL East. We're going to go team by team in each division. We're going to give our awards out, and then we'll do the playoffs and a champion.
We will. You ready to go here, Michael?
Yeah. You want me to? Let me start off my division, if you don't mind.
That's no problem.
My division.
Yep.
My division. No, it will not be my division this year because the Atlanta Braves are going to come in first place. The New York Mets will finish in second. The Philadelphia Phillies will finish in third. The Miami Marlins, who will shock people this year, will come in fourth, and the Nationals will come in fifth.
The Atlanta Braves coming first for me, then the Phillies, then the Mets, then the Marlins, and then the Nationals.
All right.
Actually, before we get into this, I was in Dick's today, and I saw a guy wearing a Nationals City Edition hat already. I complimented him on it. It was very nice with the little cherries.
Oh my God. You know, those jerseys, they were like the fastest selling jerseys in a while.
Really nice.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I don't know if I can never don a Philly Nationals jersey, but they are very nice. Maybe I could wear the hat. All right, let's start. We both have Atlanta winning the division. And you know what's really funny? Before DeGrom got hurt, I was still flipping, between whether or not I thought the Mets or the Braves would win the division because the Braves are loaded. And a few days ago, I went and looked, and this was even before DeGrom got hurt. and I said, the Braves are loaded. I mean, this roster is still so good. Their bullpen is fantastic. I think they have a really solid starting staff, and their lineup is insane. People say that they lost something, losing Freeman. And sure, they lose the leadership. And, I'm sure he was, very friendly with all the guys in the locker room. But I think you can argue they have the better offensive player now with Matt Olson. And then you're going to get Ronald Acuna back. I don't know. This team is just getting better. They're young still in some spots. Austin Riley, we forget about Austin Riley all the time. This is still a very, very solid team, and they win the division.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously on the same page. I have them winning the division also. Freeman was a big loss for them, but they're not really going to feel it because they got a guy, like you said, who's just as good, if not better. So I think they'll be just fine. They didn't have a great regular season last year. Obviously, that didn't matter. They won the World Series. Acuna will be back. Austin Riley had a great year for them. Dansby Swanson had a sneaky good year for them. They'll have to make up for Rosario and Soler and that production that they got out of them. Sorry, not Rosario. Soler. They lost Soler.
They brought back
Rosario. Peterson's gone, but I don't think that'll really matter much for them.
No, they're not losing much there.
But I like this. I like the rotation. I like Max Fried. They got Kenley Jansen, good guy in the bullpen to have, right? That established closer. It's been a problem for them for a while, although their bullpen was really good in the postseason last year. Yeah, I like Atlanta winning the division.
Yep, on the same page there. This is where we differ. I have the Mets coming in second place. I really love the additions they made to this team in the offseason. I think Eduardo Rodriguez, now I say Rodriguez when I want to say Escobar. Eduardo Escobar, to me, is a very underrated pickup. This is a professional ball player. And I know we don't really talk about RBIs as much, and we don't, the stat is becoming a little, more in the Stone Age. It's not really valued as highly as it once was. But for this team, it's very important because the Mets, especially the past few seasons, have had a hard time getting guys in with runners in scoring position. And Eduardo Rodriguez is a guy that drives in a ton of runs, and this is going to be huge. Not only is he going to drive in a ton of runs, he's going to move guys over. If there's a runner on third base, he's going to get that ball in the air, and he's going to get that guy home. And he's going to hit some home runs. And he could play third base, play second base. I really love this pickup. Offensively, they have to be better. Marte looked great in the spring. If he can stay healthy, I think this is a guy that could be a very, very, very good player. He's obviously exciting when he's healthy as well. And kind of, I love that he gets on base. If he can play center, he can play right, he can play left. And if he gets some home runs, that's nice. And you're expecting a bounce back year from Lindor, which we really saw toward the end of the season last year. Pete Alonso is one of the better power hitting first basemen. And I think the biggest question mark on this team, A, is health in their starting rotation, but B, Jeff McNeil. Can he bounce back?
Yeah. I am a little lower on the Mets than you are. If DeGrom was pitching opening day, I would probably have them finishing second in this division. It's just the health of Jacob DeGrom, and I know it's just something minor. Max Scherzer's dealing with a little minor hamstring thing. He's still expected to pitch opening day. I'm a little worried about this team health-wise, especially with DeGrom. I think if he misses more than half the season, this team really can't get going. Lindor, I do expect him to play better. He did have a better second half last year. I like Marte for them. I wasn't crazy about the signing in terms of the years, but I think in year one, he will provide some good production. I'm just not quite there for this team to make a big improvement from the way they were last year just because of health reasons with DeGrom. And I'm not sure how much they improved the rest of the roster enough to get to where they want to be.
I'll tell you one thing right now, the rotation doesn't look as good as it did 4 days ago.
No,
Obviously, losing DeGrom. Walker hasn't looked. His knee kind of flared up today. He doesn't think it's anything major, but he says he's going to pitch. I don't even know if they want him to pitch because of how bad he looked today. But they need depth. I'm confident they'll add it. And you have a crazy aggressive owner that is willing to go to any extent to go add to this team. So whether it's a trade, they have to make it the deadline. If they're in it, they're going to, go and get a big time player. The DeGrom thing, listen, I've drawn it up to this. If he pitches another pitch for the New York Mets for the rest of his career, you got to take it as a luxury, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know why I have such a pessimistic view on this. I don't believe he pitches again for the Mets. I don't think he throws.
You got let's relax a little bit.
No, I'm serious. Think about it.
Dude, listen to yourself right now.
Listen to myself. He's not going to throw until middle of May. Then he's going to need a month, 4 to 6 weeks to just get back into throwing shape, which is normal for a pitcher. What are the chances that something else doesn't flare up in those?
You think he misses weeks? 6 months?
Yes.
And you think they don't extend him and he walks in the office?
I don't think he wants
to
pitch. I don't think he wants to pitch on this contract anymore. And he believes, and his agent believes, that he can get the contract if he pitches or not this year.
That's absurd that he would get that contract after not. That's like Chris Sale. That's like giving Chris Sale a huge extension right now, or signing somewhere else. He wouldn't be
we've seen DeGrom be elite for, obviously
Chris Sale's elite too.
But years. Not DeGrom elite.
If you have 12 starts in 2 years, you're not going to get a multi-year contract. That's absurd at big money, from bigger than what you're getting right now. That's insane.
Why would he? Damn, he's had all these injury concerns. He's hurt now. He's hurt again. So even if he did come back, you think it's going to be that much money from June? Let's say he comes back in July. From July to whenever he's done pitching, you think it's going to be that much of a difference whether he doesn't pitch at all?
Yes. I think if he gives you 15 starts this year, he'll be getting a way better contract than if he gives you 0.
I'll tell you something right now. I don't want him back. I don't want him back. I hope he leaves.
You get
that's
like
how
this.
I
you
feel.
Get like this with the
That's
Mets.
how I feel.
You get crazy. You give these outlandish opinions, and then 3 months from now, he'll be back, and you'll be marching the Citi Field with your Jacob deGrom jersey, and you're skipping up the escalator, and you're ready to go.
If that happens, I will be like that, because I don't think it's going to. I truly don't think he starts with this team again.
All right. We'll see, Michael. That's a big statement you're making right now.
And Max Scherzer, by the way, that guy's a dog. I'm going to knock on wood because this team is cursed. But that guy's a dog. He's going to take the ball every 5th day. He's a bulldog. He's not just a dog. He's a bulldog. I love him already. And if they have him healthy and they have Bassett, and if they need to add another starter, they do, this team can still compete. They can. We've seen crazier things happen. And if by the grace of God, they give us Jacob deGrom back for a few months, I wouldn't want to be anybody in the National League. Because if they get deGrom and they get Scherzer back for the postseason and they get there, oh my God.
All right.
That team. The only thing stopping me from picking them winning the World Series is the health of those two. If you can guarantee me Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer are healthy in the postseason, they're my pick. I put the house on it.
Why? Now you're just being absurd. So, what about like the Brewers? The Brewers have 3 really good starters. They got Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff, and then you throw on Freddie Peralta. The Phillies got Nola and Wheeler.
Wait till you see who I have representing the National League in the World Series.
All right.
I don't just say things and not back it up.
Enough.
And by the way, let's talk about the Phillies, because Aaron Nola having this resurgence here, I thought that was going to happen, and he looks like crap.
It's spring training,
and his velocity's down, and Wheeler's hurt. I'm sorry, JM. The concern. Sorry for talking so much. You have the concerns with the Mets. I have so many different concerns with the Phillies.
All right, well, let's talk about it. I have the Phillies coming in second in this division. I don't have as much concern about them as you do. I think health.
Maybe I'll change your mind.
All right. I think health is a concern for this team, just like it is for every team, but maybe a little bit more for them. I mean, not really. Wheeler, yeah, but all the other stars. I mean, Bryce Harper usually stays on the field. Aaron Nola,
their best pitcher, maybe the second best player. Yeah.
Bryce Harper stays on the field fully healthy every year. Knock on wood.
No, I'm not saying Harper. I'm
What are you
saying
talking
Wheeler.
about?
I'm talking Wheeler.
No, the other. Oh, you were just talking about Wheeler. All right. Anyways, stop interrupting me. You're getting Met fan crazy. Shut up.
I know. I'm gonna eat my M&Ms.
Yeah, eat your M&Ms.
Damn it! I just went full screen.
This team's rotation is better than what it's been in years past, and we've been worried about the back end of it. But I really like this rotation top to bottom now. You have Ranger Suarez, who had a really nice year for them last year, playing really kind of the everyman role. He was a long reliever. He could be a setup man, and he could start games for you in the rotation. And then the forgotten guy that I forgot about, you forgot about, Kyle Gibson's still a member of this team. They traded for him last year at the deadline. I like this rotation. The lineup is stacked. Signing Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos were two huge additions for them. The defense is going to be a concern. You can only DH one guy at a time, so that means Schwarber or Castellanos are going to have to be in the field, and those two guys are some of the worst defenders in the league. And just all around the rest of the team, it's not great defensively. But you give me a lineup with JT Realmuto, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Gene Segura, and Nick Castellanos. That's a hell of a lineup. That's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NL. And the bullpen is solid. They had some really nice additions in the bullpen. You're making a face. You're making a face. They
Their bullpen solid.
Yep.
Brad Hand was a mess last season. Added him. Jerry Familia is Jerry Familia. You know, he's hit or miss. I know that very well. Alvarado, same thing. He's either going to walk the ballpark or he's going to strike out the side. I like Knebel. He's fine. He's got to stay healthy. If he's healthy, he'll be, a solid closer for them. So they've added, but they added Familia and Hand. And by the way, Familia was terrible last year.
The bullpen will be solid. I'm telling you.
Okay. Now let me go at you now with the starting rotation. I forgot about Kyle Gibson. And then I remembered Kyle Gibson sucked when he got to the Phillies last year. You know why, JM? Because Kyle Gibson is not really a strikeout guy. So he relies on his defense, and he relied on it when he was with Texas last season. He pitched well. He went to the Phillies. He had a 5 ERA. Well, he pitches in a hitter's ballpark, and their defense was terrible, and their defense got a lot worse.
Okay.
So
solid. So those are some solid points that you made, but let's not act like that's exactly how it's going to be. I think there's also just some Kyle Gibson pitching like crap mixed in there. I don't think he just was the same exact pitcher and all of a sudden his ERA doubled in runs basically because his defense was worse behind him and he was pitching in Citizens Bank Park. I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. I think defense is a concern for this team.
A concern.
Yeah. Relax. All right. Relax. The Yankees, teams can get away with it. The Yankees were not great defensively last year. The lineup wasn't even that good. By the grace of God, that team made the playoffs. I mean, they made some improvements at the deadline, but still, they were floating around 500 at that time. They can make up for it. They have a really good lineup. I like the rotation. And like I said, bullpen solid. It's not great. I think it'll be a little better, though. Solid. And I like the Phillies to finish second in this division.
If the Phillies got a solid bullpen, then what kind of bullpen do the Mets have? Also, the Phillies, their rotation isn't that deep. That's actually a good question. What do you think of the Mets bullpen? And then compare it to the Phillies.
All right, Guy, we're spending like 15 minutes on the top 3 NL teams because you won't shut up about the Mets and the Phillies bullpen.
Hold on. Also, their rotation isn't that deep. I also forgot about Zach Eflin, but he's always hurt. I do like Ranger Suarez. If they have Suarez,
your 4 starters, Cookie Carrasco. Like you're acting like you guys got top to bottom this freaking stacked rotation. You got 8.7 ERA boys.
No, they got. I admitted the Mets have issues, but you're acting like the Phillies are this team that's much better than the Mets.
Maybe they all suck. How about that?
They could all suck. There's definitely a chance of that happening.
Move on. I'm getting pissed off.
The Marlins win total currently is at 76.5.
Can you stop eating M&Ms?
Now I'm addicted. The Marlins win total is at 76.5. Slam the over. They're winning more than 76.5.
Yeah, I like the Marlins this year. Solid lineup that you, for some reason, are like obsessed with. It's okay. I don't think it'll be a bottom 5 offense in the league. The rotation is nice. Sandy Alcantara is a really good pitcher. They have like 6 starters. Sixto Sanchez, we thought we were going to see a lot of last year, but oddly got sent out. There's a little pizza burp right there.
He's hurt too, Sixto.
Yeah. Edward Cabrera, Trevor Rogers, stud. So, and I didn't even mention Pablo Lopez. So, yeah, like this rotation for the Fish. The Derek Jeter-less Marlins.
Fish are solid. Fish are real solid. You know why I like this team? They kind of remind me of the 2015 Mets. That's why I like this.
Met boy just going crazy right now. And last place, the Nationals. Juan Soto, and that's all you got to care about.
Can't wait. I'll be at Nationals Park on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. Very, very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Go see Juan Soto, Nelson Cruz, Patrick Corbin. All right, let's move on to the NL Central.
So gross. That's so gross. It's like
JD
the
Davis
contract in baseball.
JD Davis hit 3 home runs in 1 game against them. All right. Brewers. I got them in first. Number 2, I got the St. Louis Cardinals. Number 3, I have the Chicago Cubs. And I hope Marcus Stroman has like a 5 ERA. In 4th, I've got the Reds. They're a disgrace to baseball. And at 5, another disgrace to baseball, Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, agree with the disgrace to baseball comments. All right, first place, St. Louis Cardinals. Second place, Milwaukee Brewers. 3rd place, Chicago Cubs. 4th place, Cincinnati Reds. 5th place, Pittsburgh Pirates. I believe that is the first different division winner that we have had.
Wow.
And it will probably be the last.
Yes, it will be, as long as we both got brains.
Yes.
You want to start? You can start.
This division, let's just throw it out there, sucks. Both central divisions are pretty bad. But the Cardinals and the Brewers, I like both of them. It was a little tough for me to pick. I was low on the Brewers earlier in the offseason. I got a little higher on them now. But I like the Cardinals. Tyler O'Neill is the freaking man. Love that dude. Nolan Arenado in his 2nd year. Paul Goldschmidt had a really, really good year last year. The rotation's nice. I expect Jack Flaherty to have a good year this year. Let's see how
he's healthy.
If he's healthy, let's see how Wainwright pitches with the, if he can have a little flash in the past again. And little Albert Pujols in
Love it.
In a Cardinal uniform. I'm loving that. So we'll see, but I like the Cardinals to win the division.
Dylan Carlson, I think, is going to be the MVP of this team. The reason why they will go to the playoffs because of Dylan Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
With the Brewers here, I'm a huge fan of starting pitching. That's why Jacob deGrom has been my favorite player for, a really long time until now. This team, watching them is so much fun. Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta. They're a fun team to watch, especially if you love starting pitching. And then in the bullpen, and they have Adrian Hauser, who I actually really like. It's their 4th starter. And then you have their bullpen, 2 maybe the best relievers in baseball. And you can make that argument. And Josh Hader and Devin Williams. Nasty, nasty stuff. And their bullpen is deep, by the way. They got a bunch of guys. This is a really solid team. The one thing, they're going to be relying on Christian Yelich to bounce back. They're going to, in my opinion, if that doesn't happen, they are going to need to add at the deadline. And they're going to need to add a serious bat. They have to realize this window here. They have to do what they can to go get a legitimate bat at the deadline. And if they do, they can go far. And I think they will.
Yeah, you're right. I do believe that this team will be a pretty good team this year. The rotation is really nice, top end, especially like you talked about, former NSI Young winner. Yelich, I don't love that for them. That's the reason why I don't have them winning the division. The offense, I just can't get around on it to love it enough for them to win that division. I could see Yelich bouncing back a bit, getting that OPS in the mid to low 850, 800s. But you're not going to see him return to MVP for him. I don't think so. Really tailed off a lot. Really weird. It seems like Yelich and Bellinger, those two guys are cursed now. I don't know what the hell happened to them. If they like both sold their souls that year when they were going at it for the MVP, but
It's so weird. It really is so weird.
Devin Williams and Josh Hader are two of the top three or top four relievers in baseball. I mean, Josh Hader might be the number one reliever in baseball. So
I think he is.
yeah, like the Brewers, and don't want to go too crazy. I want to save my takes for when we get to the playoffs, but I do like the Brewers.
It's really crazy. I mean, you have Yelich, who I'm just in 2017 with the Marlins, 807 OPS. First year in 2018 with the Brewers, 1,000 OPS. Second year in 2019, 1,100 OPS, and now 786, 736. So you're right. Wouldn't be surprised if he got back to the 800s, but if he gets back to the MVP level, would that be a shock?
Think about a great 1,100 OPS. That's
unbelievable.
That's
130 games, but yeah, still
insane.
All right. The rest of the NL Central is kind of boring. The Cubs, listen, they've made a couple of moves. They had Seiya Suzuki, who should be exciting. Stroman, 3-year contract. They have Frank Schwindel. They have Patrick Wisdom, some young guy. So I think I'm confused on the Cubs, but it doesn't really matter. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. This team looks a lot different than it did last year on opening day. No Baez, no Rizzo, no Bryant. The rotation, Kyle Hendricks had a really badly year last year. Marcus Stroman, he's blocked by Merlo. He's surprisingly not blocked by me. I did have a Twitter interaction with him where I called him a clown.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, not crazy about the Cubs this year. A couple nice little Frank Schwindel, Patrick Wisdom. They got some decent stories. And you talked about Seiya Suzuki. I'm high on him this year, but I think there's a significant drop off after the Brewers and the Cardinals in this division, and I think the Cubs just get third place by default.
Yeah, Reds traded everybody. Pirates are a disgrace. That's really it.
I think they'll be the weakest. Them or the Angels will be the weakest third place team in baseball.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's move off to the NL West.
Oh, and Reds, Pirates, poverty. That's
yeah, that would not even worth our time. All right, I've got the Dodgers coming in first, the Giants in second, the Padres in third, the Rockies in fourth, and the D-backs in fifth.
That's me. Same thing.
There we go. The Dodgers, what else is there to say? They are loaded. And you know what? Listen, they go out and buy players, but they've developed so much young talent too and developed stars. It's unbelievable. And they still have a top 5 farm system today. And they just unloaded 2 of their top prospects to go get Scherzer and Turner last trade deadline. So credit to them. They're going to win 100 plus games. They got one of the best lineups I've seen in my lifetime and a really solid pitching rotation.
Yeah, they can literally do anything. I mean, and they can, the depth, everything on this team they have. Dustin May was a guy who was having a really nice year for them last year and then was out for the year, and he's not going to be healthy to start the year, but they can afford that. They got Kershaw, they have Urias, and they have Buehler. Those are 3 top guys. We talk about Trevor Bauer, a guy who got a huge contract from them. He's on leave. He'll probably keep getting that extended and more and more. Who knows if he'll ever throw a baseball on the MLB again. Enough said. I mean, Freddie Freeman, Trey Turner, stacked. It's just stacked.
All right. Go over to the Giants in second place. 107 games last year was a big surprise. A lot of people have them falling off. And listen, if they win 90 games or something like that, it's still like a 17-game drop-off. But I think they're going to still make the playoffs, win a bunch of games. We were talking about it before. Their rotation's very good. Their bullpen's really good. And I think they'll have enough offensively to make the playoffs here.
Yeah, Posey retiring was definitely a bit of a blow for them, but they had Joey Bart ready to go out of the minors. He'll be the opening day catcher. Yeah, the lineup. There's a lot of guys who had career years last year. You think about Darren Ruff, you think about Brandon Crawford, even a guy like Brandon Belt, but he's an underrated player. I think he'll be able to give that production or close to it again. I like this team. You just talked about it, the pitching rotation. Got guys like Alex Wood and Anthony DeSclafani, who I like as middle of the rotation guys. They lost Kevin Gausman, but I think Logan Webb's a really good starter. I like the Giants, good bullpen, like you said. Kind of a little bit of a raise of the NL vibe from them. Yeah, I got them coming in second in the division. That's it.
There we go. Third place, the Padres. I think the Padres are going to be the most disappointing team in the league this year. Again.
Yeah, the Padres, they have a lot of depth in that rotation, and they have some superstars. Obviously, you have Tatis, who unfortunately is going to start the year hurt. I just don't love this team. There's too many question marks at the top, right? You question Tatis's health. Yu Darvish was awful last year after the whole sticky substances stuff, and maybe that has something to do with it. I think it does. Blake Snell is going to be a guy to have a nice year for them, possibly bounce back. He didn't have a great first year, but I don't love this team. They traded away Adam Frazier in the offseason. Sean Manaea, they traded for. They traded for Luke Voigt. They're still staying active and trying to improve the team, but something just doesn't sit well with me with this team, and I don't love them.
No, I really don't. Like you said, the top of the rotation is sketchy to me. I'm not a big fan of Darvish at all. I'm not even a big fan of Blake Snell. Mike Clevenger's coming off a year where he did not pitch. Sean Manaea is a nice addition, but I think he's going to be moved up into a position where he's the number 2 starter or something like that.
Yeah,
possibly even their best starter. Who else do they have? They have depth. They have guys, but it's a lot of younger guys. I'm just not a big fan of them. Their bullpen is, okay. I think they'll score runs, but losing Fernando Tatis for 3 months, possibly more, is a huge loss. He's an MVP caliber player. He's one of the top 5 best players in all of baseball.
Oh yeah.
So it's tough. It's really tough right now for the Padres. I know some people are high on them. I'm not one of them, and they're going all in, and good for them.
Yeah, Joe Musgrove. That's one guy who could have a nice year for them.
Musgrove, that's who I'm forgetting.
I'm just not crazy.
If he's your 1 or 2.
I don't love the rest of the line. I don't think the lineup has great depth. I don't think the offense has a lot of depth on it.
They're a flawed team for sure. Next, the Rockies. They signed Chris Bryant. Me and you were in agreement. He's gonna have a big year for them. I think the Rockies will be slightly better than people think. I don't know why. I just feel like they'll mash. I mean, they always mash in Coors,
the most confused organization in sports, though, the Colorado Rockies.
And then finally, the D-backs
basically gave Nolan Arenado away, and then we're like, yeah, we don't want to pay you, and then was like, all right, Chris Bryant, here's a 7-year deal. Doesn't really make sense. Let Trevor Story walk. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No sense at all. And I'm not gonna try and ask questions.
Yeah.
All righty. Time for the playoffs.
Well, awards. Don't get crazy here.
Oh, awards. I'm sorry. Awards. That's right. Okay. You want me to start? I'll start.
Go ahead.
All right. My MVP is Trey Turner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I had a fantastic season last year. Got traded over the Dodgers. Was really good when he got traded there. He's going to be playing his most natural position, shortstop now, with Seager gone. Solid defender. He's one of the fastest, maybe the fastest guy in baseball, and somehow added power to his game. He's unbelievable. Could have a 900, 950 OPS this year, and steal a ton of bags, play good defense. This guy is an all-around fantastic player, and I think he's the MVP for the best team in baseball.
I like that pick. Yeah, he's a stud. He's gonna get a ridiculous contract this offseason. I am surprised though, because my MVP pick, a guy I thought you might have gone with because you love him, I'm going with Juan Soto. This team is it's not gonna do great this year. It didn't do great last year, but Soto almost won the MVP. Doesn't really matter. He didn't have a great first half last year, and if he did have a really good first half, he would have easily walked away with this award. I have the confidence in him that he can do it for a 162 game season and put together some numbers that we have never seen before in this era. Like the guy can reach numbers of I really think he could have a 500 on base percentage. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I think he's that freaking good. Yeah, Juan Soto to win the MVP.
You know, people would talk about, past, maybe not like the last year or two, but just, 2016, 17, when Trout was during his dominance, we'd say, oh, yeah, Mike Trout's the best player. It's about to be, oh, Juan Soto's the best player in baseball.
It is.
I think he is. I think he already is.
Fantastic. And his defense is getting better.
He's an unbelievable baseball player. All right. You can never go wrong with Juan Soto. He's going to win a ton of those. All right. My Cy Young Award pick. I think you're going to be a little surprised with this. I got Max Fried of the Atlanta Braves. You know what? I knew you had, you know what? I gotta do it. I shouldn't have said that. I knew.
I literally just put him in. Like I had another guy, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. There's no way that me and you both said Max Fried. Like that's an out of left field pick, and we both said it.
I know. While you were debating it, before we started. I was like, maybe he has Fried. Yeah.
I had Wheeler. And I was like, I don't know. The injury does bother me.
He's got a bad shoulder already.
I know. Yeah, I love the pick for Max Fried.
The term Maddox is what? A complete game in under 100 pitches, right?
Yeah.
He throws a ton of those.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. He's underrated.
He's not what we like nowadays. He's not gonna strike a ton of guys out, but he's gonna take the ball. He's gonna give you a lot of innings, and he's gonna get guys. He's gonna get guys out. He's not gonna strike him out a ton, but he's gonna get guys out. 28 games last year, and he had 165 innings. Corbin Burns won the Cy Young. He had 167 innings. So if he gives you 35 starts, 32 starts, whatever it is, he can give you up close to 200 innings.
That's crazy. I was like, oh, I'm coming out of left field with this pick. I know he'll like it.
Yep. If he gets that ERA below a 3 and gives you 200 innings and 200 strikeouts, he'll make a really, really strong case for this award.
All right. Rookie of the year. I've had it's kind of a weak race, I think, in the NL. I got O'Neal Cruz. You can go either way, though. O'Neal Cruz of the Pirates, the infielder. Wacky hair.
Yeah. I got Seiya Suzuki. I thought you were going to pick him. And I was about to say that good thing you didn't pick Juan Soto because we would have had the exact same awards, but luckily you didn't, and you picked O'Neal Cruz. Yeah, Seiya Suzuki. Going to be nice for the Cubs. Really, the guys, if you want to have a fun time, look at his numbers in the KBO or whatever league he played in before he came here, because they're quite impressive.
Funny guy too. Great personality.
Very nice personality.
I'm excited to watch him this year. I hope he has a good year for the Cubbies. All right, it's playoff time now.
Hell yeah, it is.
All right, let's do the seeds. So the number 1 seed, I've got the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 2 seed, the Braves. Number 3, the Brewers. Number 4, the Mets. Number 5, the Cardinals. And number 6, the Giants.
All right, I got number 1, Dodgers. Number 2, Braves. Number 3, Cardinals. Number 4, Giants. Number 5, Phillies. Number 6, Brewers.
All righty.
So no Mets, no Padres.
No Mets, no Padres. All righty. Mind if I start it off?
Go right ahead.
All right. In the 4-5 matchup, I know it's probably supposed to be 3-6, but at least I stay consistent, right?
You're good.
In the 4-5 matchup, the Mets, I got the Mets beating the Cardinals in the wild card round. And then I have the Brewers in the 3-6 beating the Giants.
All right. In the 4-5 matchup, I have the Giants beating the Phillies. And the 3-6 matchup, I have the Brewers upsetting their division rival, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right. In the NLDS, I have the Dodgers beating the Mets. And then I've gone back and forth on this all day, but I'm going to take the Brewers over the Braves.
All right, we have the same Brewers-Braves matchup. I took the opposite. I have the Braves over the Brewers. And then I have the Dodgers over San Francisco back-to-back years. They end their season in the divisional round.
I forgot how great that series was. I was watching something the other day.
And unfortunately, it ended bad because Wilmer Flores did not swing.
He did not. Poor Wilmer.
Was that Angel Hernandez moment?
No, it wasn't Angel.
I'm surprised.
Your boy John Heyman's going over the New York Post.
Good. Maybe he'll go away.
No, he's not. Okay. NLCS. I've got the Milwaukee Brewers beating the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers go out again in the NLCS.
Wow. I knew you were going to say it when you left your little hint before when you were like, oh,
yeah, you called me out. I love good starting pitching. And if they're healthy, if that team's healthy with that rotation, unbeatable. They can win.
I just want to tell you that cliche is BS. That's thrown. How can you have watched baseball the past couple of years and been like, oh, starting pitching will take you all the way? Because the Braves just did it with mashing and really good bullpen. So
the Nationals did it. The Nationals did it in 2019. You could still win World Series with great pitching. And if you have it put together at the right time.
You can win with great hitting too. I don't think there's a necessary formula, but
no, anyways. You're right. You're right. There's not.
It's not like football. Like you're not, a team's not going to run the ball 28 times and win the Super Bowl. You got to be able to throw the ball a little bit. But
I'm also saying that those three guys are going to be healthy at the right time and pitching very well at the right time. That's also not as likely. So I'm saying if you do get those three guys pitching at the right time and pitching well, I don't think you could beat a team like that. Like the Nationals said.
My NLCS is a rematch of last year's. I have LA beating Atlanta this time. Wasn't that okay? That 3 years that's 3 years in a row of the same.
3 years in a row.
Yep.
Okay. And World it's finally time for the World Series.
What's your matchup?
I've got the Blue Jays and the Brewers.
All right. Give it to me.
I've got the Toronto Blue Jays in 6 games beating the Milwaukee Brewers.
Look at you saying the Blue Jays are going to win it all. Just eating the chalk.
Loving those Blue Jays.
Eating the Blue Jays chalk all over.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Mine is White Sox versus Dodgers. I got the White Sox in 7 over the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Very nice.
Taking the cake.
I think those would be great World Series matchups.
Those would be phenomenal.
I mean, of course, we take Mets Yankees every day, but
yeah. Well, oh my God, can you imagine that?
No,
you wouldn't be my friend.
I don't know what I would do. Like, I honestly don't know what I would do. I'd be so nervous.
So would I.
So nervous.
I wish I could have lived that in 2000 because I would have had a great time too.
Right. I was born.
I know. You tell me every time it comes up.
The only night the Mets won in that series. Mm-hmm. I was born. Yep.
Well aware.
All right. That was fantastic.
That was great. Love doing it. Gave our full predictions. We will and should post them to Instagram tomorrow when the day this episode comes out. Yeah.
Great. And I said it was going to be a short episode. Look at us. 10:13. All right. We will talk to you guys next. Enjoy the holiday this weekend of Major League Baseball being back.
Hell yeah. Go Yanks.